Hello, Mechwarriors. Today we're doing a review of what I refer to as Lilo. This is my Intersphere Bullshark, and this is the Bullshark 3. The reason I call this Lilo is because I have a matching clan version, which I call Stitch. I bought both of these together a couple months back, and honestly, I forgot all about them. I honestly had been playing a lot of the Sun Spiders, and then the event happened, and I was doing a lot of brawling in the heavy, assault, medium builds and stuff. And I did try this once or twice as a brawler build, but I found that this actually works better for me in two configurations. And this is one of them. This is the one I actually like the most. As you can see, I am taking advantage of some of the laser points on this. This has the capability of 6 missiles, and it has 7 energy points, including one that would go in the head, which I'm not taking advantage of because I have something else there in its stead. But this is a really nice build, I think. And what I do like about this mech is it is spaced out, but it's not nearly as spaced out as much as like a Fafnir or, say, a Longbow. It's got a little bit tighter body profile, I feel. And I honestly feel like this actually has a little bit better armor than the Longbow does. But if you compare the builds, which I can do very similar builds, between the Marauder 2 4 HP and the Longbow, whether it's the 12C or the 10C, and then the Bullshark 3, I feel like the Longbow 10C and this Bushwhacker 3 does better in most cases in those regards. Obviously, the Marauder 2 is going to have 9 missile points and 4 energy points, so it's really hard to tank away from that. But just doing them is a simple setup with 6 LRM-10s and going with a few energy weapons. I feel like this does a better job than the Longbow does overall. Anyway, let me show you the build. So as I mentioned, I've got 6 LRM-10s, and on my Longbow, I'm typically running 2 or 3 of the energy points. But this is nice because it gives me a lot of options as far as the availability of weapon placement. Now, I am not taking advantage of this 7th one here, and it's because I wanted the advanced sensor package. Why? Because it's not about the range that it gives me, the increased sensor range. What it does is it actually speeds up targeting data, so it gives me a little bit better read map of places on the mech to attack. I went with 6 ER medium lasers, and the ER gives you that extended range and allows you to really reach out and touch people at a greater distance. But more importantly, you have a better optimum range. So you have an optimum range standard of 360. Now with my skilling up, that puts me at 414 meters, 414 meters of optimum range. And that's what I really wanted. The maximum range, if I hit targets on it, it's nice, but it's not going to do a lot of damage because each one of these only does 5 damage. So you figure at half range, it's 2.5, or half of the way to maximum range. It's 2.5 damage each one. And I am chain firing these, but I'm chain firing these using buttons 1 and 2. So at any given time, I'm firing 2 of these lasers no matter what. Because I'm gonna do it that way. When I get really hot, it allows me to chain fire with 1 button, and that way I'm still doing damage without having to worry about it. And what I like specifically about doing 6 of these with chain fire is you can create your own pseudo version of the X-Pulse weapon without all the added heat added to it. So I'm running 6 energy points and 6 missile points, and I still have a heat management of 1.08, which is not incredible for most of my mechs, but it's pretty nice overall. And what I mean by pretty nice is watch this. If I'm firing just the missiles, and I remove all these, and I'm not dealing with these whatsoever, my heat management's 1.56. And again, if I'm firing just the energy points, as you can imagine, when they're inside of my minimum range envelope, I have a heat management of 1.5. That means I can fire all 6 of these with no problems whatsoever. But that's what I mean by a pretty decent amount of heat management. So the firepower on this build is 90. Big duh. That's not a big surprise. And I have a maximum speed of 56.3. And that's the meat and potatoes of it. The heat management is not terrible. I used to run this build with 2 medium X pulses in the center torso, and then, or put one here and one there, and then use any of the available spaces for additional ammo. The problem I ran into was that it didn't feel like I was doing very much damage, and I came up in a match where a Corsair was bright red cord on Bear Claw, and I just couldn't do enough damage to him to really make it so that I could get the kill on him. He ended up killing me before I killed him, and I think he overheated. But it came down to basically I was in the dirt and he wasn't. So let's take a look at the quirks on this build. So we're getting a missile heat generation of minus 10, missile HSL plus 1, which means you can add an additional missile without getting charged for it with ghost heat. And then base armor, we're getting center torso plus 20, left and right torso, we're getting plus 25, left and right arm, left and right leg, we're getting plus 20. So that's pretty much that on that. The advanced sensor package really is worth it, the investment. If you can put it on there and you're not going to sacrifice defensive weapons, and even on an LRM build, I always run defensive weapons. 100% of the time. You can go through all of my builds and you will never see a missile build, an LRM missile build that is, that doesn't have defensive weapons. If it's a Thunderbolt build, the Thunderbolts are the defensive weapons. If it's an SRM, it's kind of a duh moment. Even on my ATM builds, I always run defensive weapons. Because somebody's going to get inside your envelope and it's going to be a rough time. So coming over here to the skills tree, I knew exactly what I wanted when I tried this build out, and that's why you'll see a lot of things are not skilled. I go back and forth with velocity, but ultimately I went with full range and full heat generation. I got 2 points into velocity because I want those missiles to get there just a little bit quicker. I went with more ammo, tighter spread, and more chances of doing a crit damage. For survival, I went with skeletal density maxed out, armor hardening, reinforced casing all maxed out, and then 3 points in overheat damage. Why? Because quite frankly, this mech doesn't really get hot enough to need all 5 of them. I would benefit from having the target decay information, but most of the time when I'm driving this mech, I'm driving it with a group of other mechs as well, and I would love to have the target decay, but I needed it for more of the heat management because I'm running 12 weapons. I am in override all the time, so I have cool run and heat containment definitely selected. And I went 3 points into radar deprivation and 4 points into more sensor range. I want to be able to reach out and touch people at a greater distance. I haven't skilled this back, and as you can see, I don't even have them skilled. This is what I wanted, and I wanted 2 cool shots and a UAV because that's what I run on all my mechs. So as you can see, all the ER medium lasers go across these buttons here because I chain fire both buttons 1 and 2. I get into tight situations or maybe I run out of ammo, I'll just start alpha striking these. But most of the time I like to fire these independently of each other on chain fire, and that just gives me more opportunity to do damage as time goes on. If I get into a brawling situation, it's better to have that last 5 damage opposed to waiting a few seconds for it to come down so you can actually do the damage. So that's just something to consider there. And then I chain fire my LRM-10s. Sometimes at the beginning of the match, if it's a cold map like Polar Highlands or Alpine, I'll do alpha strikes, but typically I don't, and the reason is because this does produce quite a bit of heat, and you're not going to really benefit too largely from it. I did, however, take a flea out on a map with 1 shot. I fired all my LRM-10s, I hit him, I must have hit him while he was running away. It must have hit him in the back, but either way, he was a chalk outline in the snow. So it really worked out. At any rate, I hope you like the build, and I hope you like the matches coming up going with it. And you'll see that in 1 or 2 of the matches, I am running the medium X pulse lasers. and I really kind of just regretted it. I really felt like that didn't do as well. I also did a couple of runs doing it with 2 of the MRM 40s, and you know, that's the one thing I have to complain about the MRMs. I wish they were guided. Hello, peeps.
Good evening.
We'll have to.
Yep.
An override we trust.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
This is command. Eliminate all enemies, no matter the cost.
Override engaged.
I'm not suggesting this, but has anybody ever done this match where you just spend all your time inside the tunnel, the whole team?
Target acquired.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
It sounds like it could work, or it also sounds like it could be terrible.
New target acquired.
Spotted. Target spotted.
And Delta 5 intermittent contact.
Target
spotted.
acquired.
Target spotted.
Timberwolf and Echo 4
We got 4 over here.
Copy.
Target spotted.
He's probably not alone.
and I just got a glimpse of another one in Echo 4. Some kind of medium.
And there's something near Gulf 5 now.
Wait, me up above you guys and plus 5-ish. Somewhere away. Too far for me to hit.
Some kind of scout came back here around Gulf 4, Gulf 5 or so, and
Target
popped the
spotted.
UAV, but it's down.
Copy.
We had somebody back here.
Target spotted.
Speaking of the tunnel.
Target spotted.
New target
Target
acquired.
spotted. Need assistance.
We got a Lance up here in Echo 4 area.
Delta 5, Delta
At least
4.
one Lance.
Spotted.
Yeah, they get back up behind him too.
UAV activated.
Kit box, I'd keep your
That
distance.
Alright, let's get Charlie. We got
Hey,
here.
yep, they're pushing into
New
5
target
slope.
acquired. Target acquired.
Shit. He's down.
Thanks. Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Whole Lance moving from
India.
Echo 4 towards Fox 5.
New target acquired.
2 Lances in Echo 4.
Target spotted.
Yeah, we could use some help over here. Oh, we're all here. Shit.
New target acquired.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Here's scout running around Fox 5.
You're in front of India? I can't. Oh, you fell asleep? Okay. You're like hogging its face. Alright, we got it.
New
That's
target
good.
acquired.
Another one.
Need assistance.
Two lights, Gulf 5 area.
New target
spotted.
acquired.
Delta 5 is clear. We're coming back towards y'all.
You guys keep a lock on them. I got a lot of missiles. just opened for?
Leo's chasing me around this fucking building.
We're experiencing some losses. Don't get sloppy out there.
H is inside the jet.
New target acquired. New target acquired. Shut down.
If you see the Timberwolf, he's one shot. He's bright red.
New target acquired.
He was last seen near Fox 4.
We've lost half our force. We can't lose
New
any more
target
soldiers.
acquired.
Keep pushing.
Nice.
New target acquired.
Ouch.
We're taking critical losses. We need you to pull through.
You can do it, Kid Bucks.
Torso destroyed.
Can anyone read?
Well, shit.
Well, you were outnumbered.
I also had like no armor on my torso at that point.
And that enforcer looks like it came in right behind you.
I got it like a face-to-face brawl with a cougar earlier in the match. I won that, but he got pretty much all of my armor in the process.
It was a good death.
Yep.